Madam President,
Senator from Florida.
are we in a quorum call?
We are,
Okay, as a quorum call be vitiated.
without objection.
As in legislative session, I ask unanimous consent that the Senate proceed to the immediate consideration of Senate 2997, which is at the desk. Further, I ask unanimous consent that the bill be considered read a third time and passed, and that the motion to reconsider be considered made and laid upon the table.
Is there objection?
Madam President,
Senator from Michigan.
reserving the right to object. Madam President, the senator will speak further about what he is attempting to do, but I want to make it clear, first of all, that this bill isn't about protecting access to food assistance for moms and babies or ensuring children continue to receive healthy school meals. This actually is, unfortunately, a bill that is in search of a problem. And if my colleague, Senator Scott, wants to work with me on eliminating barriers to access in SNAP or the WIC program or school meals, I'd be more than happy to work with him on it. But let me just say this. This bill, again, is in search of a problem because there is no rule requiring vaccinations for families to receive food assistance, and no one in the administration is proposing that. So let me just say that again. There is no rule requiring vaccinations for families to receive food assistance, and no one in the administration is proposing that. So we want to work together on how to support families in our country to help make sure children have the healthy food that they need in schools. That's terrific, but rather than spending time on bills like this, we should be encouraging people to get vaccinated, to protect their families, protect themselves, protect their community. But this bill addresses something that is just not real, nor will it be real. And so I would object.
The objection is heard.
Madam President.
Senator from Florida.
Madam President, this time last year, we still didn't know how much longer this pandemic would last. We didn't know when the vaccine trials would be completed. Thankfully, by December, the vaccine had been approved and brought normalcy back to the lives of many Americans. The Trump administration worked with public and private partners, doctors and scientists across our country to develop a safe and effective vaccine in record time. It was a feat of science, and it was an example of what Americans can do when we're working together. I had COVID, and I'm grateful that I was able to get vaccinated. I hope that all Americans talk with their doctors and consider making the same decision. It's a personal decision every individual gets to make. That's not how President Biden sees it. Lately, the Biden administration has decided to try and take this decision out of the hands of the American people. With his recently announced unconstitutional vaccine mandate for private businesses, King Biden is saying government knows best, is taking choice away from families in Florida and across the country. That's not what the American people expect government to do. Government's role is to give Americans all the information and data it has so they can make the right decision for their individual family. That's exactly what I did when I was governor of Florida. In the face of life-threatening hurricanes, I made sure Florida families were informed. I went out and made sure everyone knew exactly what to expect and how dangerous the storm could be. But I didn't issue mandates because that's not what government should do. When I was governor of Florida, we had the Zika healthcare crisis, which impacted newborns. Rather than placing mandates on pregnant women or restricting their travel to areas with local transmission of Zika, we simply informed Floridians, worked to be as transparent as possible, and offered free Zika testing to all pregnant women in Florida. But again, that's not the approach Joe Biden has decided to take. President Biden has decided that threatening corporations and businesses and misleading the American people is a better option. It's dishonest and authoritarian, and it's no way to lead a nation. Americans should be free to make choices they feel are in the best interest of their own health and the health of their loved ones. In December, President Biden promised he would not require Americans to be vaccinated or require that they carry vaccine passports. But here he is, less than 10 months into his presidency, breaking promise after promise and going back on his word. How can the American people believe anything he says? Americans are sick and tired of the government telling them what to do and are more than capable of making the right choices to protect themselves, their family, and their neighbors. But even as there are some of us in this chamber who disagree about national vaccine mandates for private businesses, I want to try to find some common ground. Food stamps, supplemental assistance for women, infants and children, and free and reduced lunch programs are programs run through the U.S. Department of Agriculture and provide food to hungry families and are some of the most basic of programs our government provides to those in need. For kids who are at school and who come from families who are struggling, I'm saying you shouldn't have to be vaccinated in order to eat. For families who are struggling to put enough food on the table, I'm saying you shouldn't have to be vaccinated to get groceries. I hoped my colleague would agree. I offered a simple bill to say that families who need food stamps and additional support for women, infants, and children shouldn't have to be vaccinated in order to have a full stomach. I was a poor kid growing up. My parents struggled to put food on the table, but my colleague is telling families like mine growing up they don't care about their personal choices. If you want to be able to eat, you have to get a shot. This is ridiculous, this is un-American, and this is an attempt by President Biden to take over every aspect of your life. I'm not going to stand for it. The American people are not going to stand for it. I hope every household in America sees what happened on the floor today. Madam President, I note the absence of a quorum.
The clerk will call the roll.
Ms. Baldwin.